70% of high schoolers enrolled in college directly after high school, and since then this number has been going up. Hey guys, it's Izzy. I'm a senior at Fairview High School, and I am applying for college this year, and it's a super stressful process, and I just want to ease some of your worries with maybe a college tour kind of thing at Tufts University. Now, applying to college can be such a crazy process. It's hectic, and honestly, nobody knows where they're going to get in. Everybody applies to like the same bunch of schools, and really, honestly, nobody knows where they're going to go. There's thousands of colleges to apply to, so that's already stressful, just choosing them, and then after you choose them, where you're going to get in. So I'm here to ease some of that worry with a tour of Tufts, so you can get to know it a little bit better, and if you choose to apply, you can have seen the campus, because some of us might not have the opportunity to be able to travel outside of our area. When applying to college, it's important to remember about financial and merit-based scholarship options. There's the FAFSA that opens up October 1st every year, and I highly recommend that you go apply. Even if you don't think you qualify for financial aid, just seeing what they offer you is helpful, because you might get more than you think you're going to get, and that's a really good option, and that opens October 1st, and you can submit that to most of all colleges, I believe. And then there's also merit-based scholarships, so if your GPA or your grades or your test scores are high enough, you can apply for merit-based aid, which is like scholarship money based on your grades. And there's things called honors colleges as well, where you can apply to like the honors college and you have to write a senior thesis, but you get like better mentors and different things like that. Each school has a different honors college program, so I can't speak to them all. But these are two things you should look out for if you qualify for either one. So first, before we go, I want to talk a little bit about Tufts. So Tufts University is in Medford, Massachusetts, and it's got about a 14.6% acceptance rate as of 2019. So that's really low. It's really selective. It's really competitive to get in. It's got about 5,600 undergraduates, and the average SAT score is a 1465, which is a really high score, and its average GPA is almost a perfect unweighted GPA, which is crazy. But still, remember, college is such a lottery that if you just apply, you never know what'll happen, and there are fee waivers if it's too expensive, or if your family makes under a certain amount of money. I'm not exactly sure what that amount is, but there are fee waivers, and the average ACT at Tufts is a 33, so that is also a really high ACT score. ACT scores are out of 36, so 1 through 36 is the scoring. 36 is a perfect. And then SAT is out of 1600, and a 1600 is a perfect. Let's see. Only this year, I believe, they do not require the SAT, and they do not require SAT subject tests. But in the past, and probably in the future, they will continue to require SAT and SAT subject tests. They require one teacher letter of recommendation, one counselor letter of recommendation, and they have an optional teacher letter of recommendation, which basically means you can or cannot submit a letter of recommendation depending on your preference. They offer 3 admissions plans. Those are early decision, regular decision, and early decision 2. Early decision is when you apply to a school, you sign a contract saying that it is binding. Early decision is binding. You can only apply to one school early decision. So if you choose to apply to Tufts early decision, this year the application deadline is November 17th. And if you choose to apply regular decision or early decision 2, the deadline is January 1st, which is typical for most colleges to have their regular decision deadline like January 1st through 5th. So early decision is a process where you sign a contract and you're legally binded to that school. So when you say, it's your school, that if you really want to go to this school, it's your top choice, number one, it's been your top choice for a while, you really like the programs there, you really like the people, you really like the campus, then you want to apply early decision, because your chances of acceptance are higher. As I said before, the 14% acceptance rate goes up, like it is higher. So it's like a 22% acceptance rate if you apply early decision, which betters your chances of getting into the college. So you definitely want to apply early decision if you have a top choice or a top school. Early decision isn't for everybody, and definitely I understand that, but if you do have a top school, I would highly recommend applying early decision to that school. So if you choose to apply early decision, you have to have a binding contract and you say that you're going here. So if they admit you and they admit you into the school and whatever program they decide to admit you to, you're going to that school. That is the school you're choosing. You have to drop all other colleges that you're applying to and you're going to that school, which is reassuring as a senior because you get your admissions decision around Christmas, around winter break, and you get to know where you're going to college, and then you get to have it all finalized, and you get to start figuring out rooms and different things and different classes you want to take and what major you want to major in, and all of that is so confusing. It's nice to have a good buffer of time before you go to college to have that all figured out. Regular decision is where you get put into a pool. It's not binding, and if they admit you, you don't have to go there. You can choose, you can weigh options. A main reason to do regular decision is because it's not your number one school. It's not something that you definitely want to, you're not 100% I want to go here. It's more like I want to go here, but I also want to look at some other options, which is something that I'm really interested in. I really have not picked an early decision school. I'm really into my regular decision choices because I don't know which school I want to go to, and I kind of want to compare financial aid options, which is another reason to apply regular decision, because you get to see what each school is giving you with financial aid and see what they're giving you for merit-based scholarships to see which college is the cheapest and then which is the best for you. Now, early decision 2 is the last and final option that Tufts offers, and that is a admissions process that is also binding, but it's later in the year. So if you get it denied from your first early decision, say you apply to Penn State early decision, for the first early decision you get rejected, but you want to apply to Tufts early decision for the second early decision round, you'll want to apply, and that will also be binding, so you'll also have to sign another contract, and if you get accepted again, you're going to that school. It's just a little bit later in the year, so you don't have as much time, but it's still a good thing because you have that acceptance rate increase, so you have a greater chance of getting into the school. There's also another option to apply to college that Tufts doesn't offer, which is called early action. Early action it allows you to apply to the school around November-ish if you have your college applications done by then, and it allows you to apply to the school early, and it normally helps you have an advantage in acceptance rate. Normally the acceptance rate is higher in early decision, but it's not normally as high because this isn't a binding process, it's just you applying earlier. But most colleges tend to fill up their classes pretty early, so it is better to apply as early as possible. So applying early action is a great option. You can apply and get your decision back around January 1st, and then you will have known, but it's not binding. So you can still compare financial aid options and different majors and see which works best for you, but you'll have that decision again ahead of time. I would highly recommend applying early action if you have some of your applications done. See which schools you're applying to that have early action and start applying to those, because those will definitely help you in the long run, and it'll get a little bit of stress off your shoulders that you've gotten into college and you're in and you're there.
Hey guys, it's a beautiful fall day here in Boston, Massachusetts at Tufts University. I'm so happy you're here. This is the giant jumbo, and it was named because of P.T. Barnum, one of the circus guys. Hey guys, this is the Tufts admissions building, and over to the opposite side of the quad is the oldest building in the entire campus of Tufts.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be talking both well at Tufts, and you'll get to see me, and also as a voiceover, so you'll get to see a little bit of campus without me in the way. So Tufts' most popular majors are international relations, computer science, biology, economics, political science, community health, English, psychology, and history in that order. The most popular one being international relations with 156 students with that major, making that 11.4% of students with that major. Whether you're interested in the sciences and STEM or humanities or social sciences, Tufts is the place for you. It has tons of different options. The building we just passed is Packard Hall. Now coming off of Packard Hall, we can now see Dowling Hall. Dowling Hall is a home to the Student Activity and Recreation Center. Above the hall, you can see a bronze sculpture of Jumbo. Jumbo is the mascot for Tufts, and it's the only mascot in the Webster Dictionary. Go Jumbo! Tufts University has campuses in Medford and Grafton and Boston Fenway and the Boston Health Sciences campus. The Medford campus is the one that I went to, and it has the School of Arts and Sciences, School of Engineering, the Fletcher School, and the Jonathan M. Tisch College of Civic Life. The Arts and Science is probably the most broad, and it has class sizes that are the average class size at Tufts is 20 students, with approximately 75% of classes having 20 students or fewer. Less than 2% of colleges enroll, 2% of classes enroll more than 100 students. Here's a main look at the main academic quad for Tufts. When we were there, it was gorgeous, but super windy, so sometimes during the video it might be hard to hear me. Here we can see the Lincoln Finley Center for Citizenship and Public Affairs. Its name was for the Tufts Center College for Civic Education. Beyond the Lincoln Finley Center are two yellow tan brick buildings connected by an overhead walkway. The building on the left is Page Hall, which is the current home to the Department of Education, also housed in 120 Packard Avenue. The department offers programs leading to the Massachusetts State Department of Education certification. The next hall, which is to the right, is Minor Hall, and it is the house of the Philosophy and Comparative Religions departments. At Tufts, there are 375 full-time faculty members and 267 part-time faculty members. The student-to-faculty ratio stands just under 10 to 1, with 99% of courses taught by professors. Over 97% of tenured or tenure-track professors hold a PhD in their field. Here we can see the city of Boston through these archways. Now walking through the archway of Page and Minor Halls, it brings you to the top of the memorial steps with a great view of Boston, and it allows you to look out and look over to the Boston Red Sox and all the different things Boston has to offer, which is great for a college town. As we're looking down memorial steps, you can see a bunch of different clips of a bunch of different quotes and different time periods, and you can see that as you go down the steps, you go later and later into history. The first thing that you could see is like the Korean War, and that goes all the way down to the Civil War. From the top of the memorial steps, several campus buildings are visible. Directly across from College Avenue are a few of the buildings that comprise the School of Engineering. Commuter Center is across the street, but less than 2% of Tufts students commute to Tufts. Here's another view of the Science and Engineering complex called Anderson Hall on College Avenue. As seen here, Tufts has gorgeous buildings along with gorgeous nature. Each building at Tufts is built with a beautiful architecture, and that allows you to feel like you have a campus while you're also in the big city. One way that Tufts keeps its campus so beautiful is that it plays a crucial role in helping the world adapt to a changing planet while tackling challenging ideas such as climate change and resource depletion. In the 2018-2019 school year, Tufts gave $40,000 to the Green Fund, which is the campus sustainability fund. The university's goal is to be a leader in the responsible stewardship of the physical environment by cultivating knowledge in the students and faculty of sustainable issues and solutions across all disciplines. This is helpful in creating a beautiful campus that you are seeing today on this tour. And this is a view going up of Memorial Steps. As we walk up the steps, we will continue on our tour.
Coming back up the stairs to Minor Hall, we can now turn and see Tisch Library. Tisch Library is one of their biggest libraries, and that is where we'll be headed next. We can't go inside any of the buildings due to COVID-19 restrictions, but we can see outside, and right now it's the most beautiful fall day in Boston. A little bit breezy, but super sunny, and it's a really great day to see Tufts. Now we're turning back around, and we are headed back up the hill. Again, to our right is Page Hall, and now we are headed up the hill.
The Tufts land, which was inherited, was located on one of the highest hills in the Boston area, Walnut Hill, and it straddles Medford and Somerville. It is known as the light on the top of the hill, and because of this, the campus is one big hill, which is nice sometimes, but other times it can be quite a trek. I personally enjoyed it, but others may find this annoying.
This is Eaton Hall, which was originally a library. Hall now houses many small classrooms, as well as the classics, political science, and sociology/anthropology departments. It allows for space for the American Studies, Peace and Justice Studies, and Women's Studies, also found here. Going up the other side of the main quad, we were used to be over there, you will come to the non-denominational Goddard Chapel, seen here.
Here's another close-up view of the chapel and the fall leaves surrounding the beautiful, beautiful campus of Tufts.
Next to the Goddard Chapel, we can come up to the cannon. It is between the chapel and Balliol Hall. It is a non-functioning replica of the cannon from the USS Constitution. The cannon serves as a campus bulletin board, frequently painted by students only at night to announce events, birthdays, and even wedding proposals. Here you can see that they have "We Wear Pink" written on it. And this is a view from the top of the hill. Really a gorgeous day when people get to hang out on the green and talk to other people and study.
Tufts proudly meets 100% of demonstrated financial need in every admitted student, regardless of their citizenship status. Demonstrated financial need is the difference between the annual cost to attend Tufts, including their books, personal expenses, and transportation to campus, and the amount a student's family is expected to contribute each year, which varies based on what you get for the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA, and the CSS profile, which I talked about earlier in the video. For a resident at Tufts, it is about $79,000 a year, which is very high on the expenses. Now, as we walk down the steps, we can see a little bit of Tisch Library.
Down the stairs to Tisch Library.
Here we can see the entrance to Tisch Library, a beautiful library which is one of 6 libraries at Tufts. All of the libraries have in total 1,292,572 total volumes throughout all 6 libraries. This library is special because it has an overlook at the top, which you could see in a previous video, where students could sit outside and overlook the hill, because Tufts is one big hill, so you can see all the way down campus and even into Boston.
Here's the Student Center. And here are freshman dorms at Tufts.
Here's a side view of the Student Center, just because we weren't allowed to go in during COVID-19.
Here's the bookstore, and here's an archway that leads you to more freshman housing.
Some more fun facts about Tufts is that Tufts has a campus in France. Here you can see the the school state seal, but the campus in France allows you to study abroad there at this Tufts campus. Tufts also has 300 student organizations run by the Tufts unions, and their colors are brown and blue. And here is a map of Tufts and all of the different things we went to go see. It's a huge campus.
Chemistry building. Here's the dining hall. This is on the lower end of campus. There are 2 dining halls on campus. They have a bit of a rivalry in between which one is better. Talking to a few students, personally they believe that the upper dining hall is better, but this one is Dewick Maffei, and this is the one for near the freshman dorms. Coming around the corner from the student center and the dining hall is another look of campus and the big hill. This is me waving goodbye to Tufts for my last few minutes. Thank you so much for joining me on my college tour. I really hope you guys liked it, and I will see you all.